Good day, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I'm your host, the voice of reason. Well, as I was discussing the ongoing conflict that is taking place inside of Ethiopia, specifically in regards to the Tigray region, it was an interesting comment that appeared in one of the videos, and it referenced the impending defeat. Uh, well, they believe that there was this impending defeat of the Tigray Defense Forces, and they had compared the Tigrayan Defense Forces to the Tamil Tigers that fought against the Sri Lankan government from the mid 70s up until 2009, until they suffered a complete and utter military defeat through the use of hard military power by the Sri Lankan government. And, I can understand the context in terms of the type of war that is currently being fought in the Tigray region now, and the type of conflict that was being fought on the island nation of Sri Lanka. So, just if many of you aren't familiar with the Tamil Tigers, they started around 1975, 1976, and it was a small group of maybe a dozen really disenfranchised Tamils that started launching attacks against the Sri Lankan military, and again, its roots started with about a dozen fighters, and it grew over a period of decades to consist of tens of thousands of fighters, and at one time posed a significant risk to the Sri Lankan government. In fact, it had assassinated prime ministers of India, assassinated prime ministers of Sri Lanka as well, and committed a host of incredibly aggressive acts of unconventional and conventional warfare that some insurgent groups today even have modeled their fighting styles after, in terms of just the sheer tenacity and aggressiveness that the Tamil Tigers utilized. Excuse me. But the idea that you could compare the Tigray Defense Forces to kind of what had happened inside of Sri Lanka is a little bit out of context, and because the main reason is the Tigrayan Defense Forces exist. There was a very large governmental process that existed in the Tigray region. There was while not an official standing army, it was in fact much larger than what the Tamil Tigers had to start its conflict with Sri Lanka back in the 1970s. But again, just a few dozen fighters located in northern Sri Lanka turned into a 25-year incredibly industrial strength insurgency with elements of conventional warfare. Again, just a few dozen fighters became tens of thousands. And it took an extensive period of time to finally defeat the Tamil Tigers. And in fact, it's quite possible that the current Ethiopian and possibly Eritrean government may have sent intelligence agents to Sri Lanka to have discussions with Sri Lankan military personnel on how they were able to defeat the Tamil Tigers. And the reason I say that is because much of the strategy that we are seeing employed by both the Eritrean army and the Ethiopian army is a strict, hard power methodology, the likes that were used by the Sri Lankan government to quite literally annihilate the Tamil Tigers. And the Sri Lankan government, the Sri Lankan army, had to utilize massive and hard military power against the actual people that of northern and eastern Sri Lanka, the Tamils. So the Sri Lankan government was both attacking with conventional power the Tamil Tigers, but at the same time, it had to also attack the Tamils, the people of the Jaffna Peninsula and other areas as well. And that's how they were able to eventually defeat the Tamil Tigers with this take no prisoners approach. They utilized war crimes to generate fear, much like we are seeing now in terms of the Ethiopian army and the Eritrean army, utilizing fear, utilizing rape, utilizing extrajudicial killings. Many of the same strategies that were employed against the Tamil Tigers are now, in fact, being used by the Ethiopian armed forces inside of the Tigray region. But if you're comparing the two, then Ethiopia can look forward to roughly 30 years of continued industrial strength insurgency if you're really looking at the model of what occurred inside of Sri Lanka in terms of dealing with the Tamil Tigers. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.